Okay, welcome downtown Portland, week 117, Justice for Qadira. As you all know, we have received 2 criminal citations for engaging in free speech. So again, I want to let everybody know our court dates are March 31st and April 6th. Apparently what we're doing here is illegal. But it's okay to play naked games with kids and burn them with tea kettles. The police department, Federal Bureau of Investigation, they're totally okay with that. I do want to let everybody know again that I'm sorry to report, but law enforcement here really is covering up for pedophiles. For those of you who have been questioning our story, again, I just want to let everybody know that new information was given to us, and we turned it over to the cops in the last few weeks. That's why we are being criminally cited, because there's more victims involved in this case, and they just don't want to go after it because these people were related to a politician. And we all know how that goes, because we know that Epstein's black book, we just can't open it, can't look at it, can't arrest anybody. So we have some pretty serious problems in our society today. You have a big group of people who just want to roll the age of consent back to 0 because they want to have sex with kids. Here in Portland, our law enforcement, institutions are being inappropriately used to cover up this kind of behavior, which is why Oregon has become a haven for sex offenders. And unfortunately, the people in charge, they've got the media on lock, and somehow they have the activist community on lock. I'm not quite sure how they manage that, but with everything being pay to play these days, I guess it's just not hard to silence people. That's what I've figured out, because me and my husband, we just get ignored, and we don't have any money to pay anybody to get involved, and I wouldn't pay somebody to get involved. If you're not concerned about the safety of children simply, out of the goodness of your heart, then I don't know. Don't help me. Don't help him. I don't know what else to say. This is your community. This is what is going on. And I will say there's something very, very suspicious going on with the legal community here, because, again, we can't get any help in the entire nation. And we sit here and we protest in front of Stoll Reeves. That whole building is full of lawyers. That's the largest law firm on the West Coast, for those of you who don't know it. And me and my husband, we've had plenty of dealings with Stoll Reeves, full of corrupt attorneys. This is something I've been talking about. I'm going to start talking about more, because it's something that I really want to push for in this state, and then hopefully nationally if people want to get on board. But I think we need to start teaching some real civics in our schools. I think we need to start teaching our kids their way around a courtroom. They need to know about the legal system, criminal and civil. I don't know why it is, when citizens become victims, or they're being prosecuted in the system, or they just need legal help, why they always need to call an attorney. These attorneys are very corrupt, and I think this protest proves that. We are also helping. I've been talking about my brother's case. He's being maliciously prosecuted by the state of Oregon right now. This has been going on for 3.5 years. He's a black man. This is a first offense. He allegedly hit an illegal alien with a T-ball bat. But I will tell you, he was roofied by a homeless man that he invited into his home the night prior. He had a severe reaction, and he woke up in a blacked out state, and he was running around with this hollowed out T-ball bat. But I will tell you, the construction site he wandered onto, it was all illegals working on the construction site. It was not... The construction site was set up illegally. They had 2 32-foot construction ladders pushed against these little 4-foot chain link fences. Now, one of the ladders came down before my brother and hit the alleged victim before my brother even wandered onto the site. That person has been compensated via $54,000 in medical from the Safe Corporation. They only took 2 days off of work, so that is very suspicious to me, how you have $54,000 worth of medical bills and you only spent 2 days really getting treatment, but okay. And second of all, I think a 32 construction foot ladder is going to do improperly set up and falling is going to do far more damage than a hollowed out T-ball bat. They also they don't want to mention the fact that my brother was beaten by these illegal aliens very badly. And so basically the DA is ignoring every aspect of this case. They've spent thousands of dollars now in a city that is fraught with crime going after my brother.
Taxpayer dollars, folks, your money.
And he's not a danger to anybody. And I see these TriMet workers out here. They're protesting because I believe a driver was stabbed. So we have real crimes to be going after, but, you know, Mike Schmidt and his buddies, they like to come after our family. They come after our family because we basically documented this crime against our daughter, and they don't want to go back and pick up the people who sexually abused her. And like I said, there are other victims, but they're not doing anything with that information. I'm wondering how many police officers they'll send down today to cite us for standing on the corner and just talking about what's going on. Your police officers, your federal agents are being paid your tax dollars to cover up crimes. And I'm sure there are more crimes. I'm sure our daughter is not the only victim, and my brother is not the only person being maliciously prosecuted through the system. But what we have going on down here in Portland is a shakedown. That's what I call it. It's a shakedown. My brother, like I said, this was a first offense for him. He was blacked out. When the police arrived on the scene, he was immediately taken to the hospital because everybody recognized that he needed medical attention. The medical report shows very high levels of benzodiazepines, which matches the story he's told since the day this happened, which is he was roofied by the homeless man he let into his apartment, whom he was trying to give aid to, really. He was trying to feed him and keep him warm on a cold night, which we all know that there are thousands of homeless people out on the street, and anybody could fall victim to this, inviting somebody into their home. But since this case started 3.5 years ago, the state won't listen to my brother. They already put him in jail for 1.5 years. They tortured him in there. He was being exposed to some kind of chemical. They put a $500,000 bail on his head, okay, in the city of Black Lives Matter. So we finally got that reduced to $250,000, and my family had to come up with $27,000 to get him out. So when you talk about somebody's knee being on someone's neck, sometimes that's happening and there's no cameras rolling. You know, me and my husband have been the only ones helping my brother. The activist community won't come out for him. I don't know why. So we do stand with Saladin. He's had to fire his public defender because the guy was actually literally trying to hide his medical report from him. He didn't know he was he didn't remember what happened because he was blacked out that day. And he actually didn't remember much of anything for several months. He still doesn't remember the whole thing. But they were trying to hide the fact that he'd been taken to the hospital. His public defender was trying to do that. Now every judge we've been in front of says none of that matters. None of the circumstances surrounding the entire event matter. They just want to put him in jail for 40 years because he's related to me and my husband, and because they did this crime. And they don't want to have to fix the system or be upfront with the citizens about the kind of hanky-panky that's going on in our courtrooms. And there's a lot of hanky-panky because they're empty. So I really hope people start listening to me and my husband, because one big push we want to make is I'd like to see kids from the 6th grade literally learning about the legal system, being taken down to the courtroom, getting a basic legal education, because at any time you can end up in the system. You need to know how to use it, especially for our poor and disenfranchised, people of color, black people. Start educating yourselves, because you're not getting educated in school, and this is serious business. You need to know how to defend yourself. A gun isn't always going to do it, okay? And a gun will get you in prison. So me and my husband are pacifists. I think that a lot of you have passed judgment on us because we tried to use the legal system to work out our problems. But as pacifists, that is what we are commanded to do, which is use our words. We don't believe in killing people, okay? I either side. We are solution-based over here. That's what we are trying to figure out. We want a solution to this. We don't want anybody hurt. We do want an explanation, though, because the failure here in Qadira's case is so extreme. It's a concern for the entire nation. Our civil dispute system, our legal system, criminal or civil, cannot be operating like this.
Folks, I just want to say that we stand with the TriMet workers.
Absolutely.
And if any of you want to come on the mic and voice your concerns about what's going on here, please do, okay? Please
Absolutely.
do. Our mic is open to you.
Every voice here matters. Everybody who has a suggestion on how to clean up Portland, we need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, the people in charge, get a clue, people. They don't know nothing.
Not only do they not know anything, they don't want us to know anything.
That's right.
They want to keep you completely ignorant of everything that they are doing, because what they are doing is against you.
Exactly. You know, every time me and my husband have stepped into a courtroom, all we've seen is tampering and disregard for the system. So
there are so many people being disenfranchised by our system. It is time to start questioning our system.
Well, we need to ask ourselves why we're not getting a basic education on how to work the system, because that is how you become free. You get some understanding of your rights and how to use them. I'm not saying we need to do away with the attorney profession, but what I'm saying is everybody should have a basic legal education, and you should not need an attorney to use the courts. You should also have a basic understanding, if you hire an attorney, of what that attorney is doing behind your back. That's how me and my husband got taken for a ride with Scott Kotcher. That's how he filed all this fraudulent crap, and they ran this fraudulent proceeding behind the abuse of our daughter. We didn't know what was going on, okay? And when we complained about it to the bar and the police, they just shut us out, because that's what they can do. They just shut you out and they don't talk to you. You think your tax dollars are paying for all these institutions and you'll be able to use them when you need them? Well, not necessarily. Okay, because that is what we found. Not a single institution, and we have filed complaints, paperwork everywhere. That's one of the reasons we're out here doing this. Is one of the things they can't do is take me and my husband to court and prove we are lying, because we are 100% out here telling you the truth, and we have all the documentation to back it up. There's serious problems going on in this country that are being ignored. So, and in this city. So when they're saying they're going to clean things up and they're going to appropriately use your tax dollars to fix the problems around here, they're lying to you.
They are lying, folks. And these are the people that are running your system. They are lying to you right now.
It's very easy for them to lie to you because you don't know anything. And you'll know you don't know anything when you end up down, when you have a legal problem. Because that is what happened to me and my husband 16 years ago after our daughter was brutally assaulted and abused, and my husband was harassed on the Nike campus. The first time we reached out for any kind of help, these people just started slapping us around like we were slaves. I mean, they might as well have just gotten out their bullwhips and just went to town, because, you know, every time we had an issue, we were the ones that got treated like we didn't matter, spit on. I mean, my daughter's case was dismissed with prejudice. She has lifetime damages from this because she wasn't treated at OHSU or Providence. We're not even allowed to question them about it. When she asked about her medical records at the age of 18, they threatened to arrest me. She was told if she says anything more about what happened to her, her parents will be arrested. So if you don't think you're living in China or North Korea, you're just wrong. The media is just presenting this place to you the way they want you to see it, but they do whatever they want once you're in an empty courtroom, or they have you in their grips, which is what they've been doing to us.
Folks, it's time to stand up, and it's time to stand together. We are not going to make it in this nation we are not going to make it on this planet if we don't stand up and do it together. That's what my wife and I are, that's what we're asking for, folks. That's why we keep getting down here. Every single week, we are asking people to stand up because it's time. Okay, these people are using your authority against you. It is your authority. We are all sovereign, free will beings. Our authority is built in. Okay, but these people have manipulated us into believing it's their authority. It's our authority.
And we should not be afraid to question. I don't know why the Portland community is afraid to question what happened here. Me and my husband have no authority. We are just two parents. And this happened to us. Our daughter was abused. Like I said, she's got lifetime damages. This is documented, provable. We have been to every agency you can imagine trying to get help. But after this 5-star Harvard attorney, Scott Kocher, threw our daughter's case, he worked with Judge Michael McShane, who's a federal judge. The guy should be arrested. Okay? Rudy Lockenmeyer, Scott Kocher, they put together a fake trial.
Fake trial, folks. It was based on civil child neglect. There is no such thing as civil child neglect. Okay? You can't prosecute somebody for child neglect in a civil court. But that's what these people did in your courthouse. In your courthouse. The Multnomah County Courthouse. They did this in 2008.
And what other fake trials have they run? I don't know, but this was actually a fake proceeding. You cannot be absolved of burning up a child and coercing a child to play naked and all that in a civil court. This was done, and then McShane, when we tried to appeal this, he actually dismissed this case with prejudice. So if you don't think racism is involved here, it really, really is. But like I said, a new concern of us is new information has come to light that there are multiple victims and still these people sit free, running free, and the people who helped them.
Amen.
So it's very interesting to me that we've had the police coming down and citing us now because all they want is silence. How is this city supposed to clean up anything when our public officials are literally involved in all these kinds of crimes and there's nobody to hold them accountable?
Folks, we are not holding these people accountable. There is no auditing of our system going on. Nobody is watching the store. That's why our system is falling down around us.
And when I see what's going on with my brother, he's a black man, first offense, 40 years, and there's a medical record showing he had a medical emergency that day because he was roofied in his own home because of the unsafe conditions on the ground here in Portland where people are just living in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because they are being treated like garbage. One of the reasons people are ending up in the streets is because they're not being taught about their system or anything about how you're actually supposed to live in America. We literally learn nothing about our rights. They're not teaching any civics in school. In fact, I heard, what's the big thing? There's a teacher who's telling kids to write their sexual fantasies. So that's what's going on in our schools. When people need to really actually learn about their actual rights and learn how to use them so they have an understanding of where they are and what's going on. That would be a good first start in creating a country called America.
But that's not happening, folks. And that's why we keep coming out every single week while these people are trying to shut us down. They don't want us talking about any of this, okay? But they can't really do anything about it, okay? Because we have embraced our authority, okay? We know that these people are fraudulent. They have absolutely no business doing what they are doing to us or to you.
I can't even take a judge or a police officer seriously right now. I'm not going to hurt them. Make your choices. Because honestly, as pacifists, that's what we really believe. You make your choices. That's what you do. You're going to have to make your peace with God, including the people who burned up our daughter. They're making a choice, and they can sit there and maybe they look free, but eventually they will have to deal with what they did. So I won't lay a hand on them. Because the fact of the matter is I'd rather them be rounded up and let's talk about this. How did this case happen? How did an 8-year-old child in this community
8-year-old, naked 8-year-old
Right,
kids.
and then they've been able to lie about it and lie about it. And then, here's the kicker. This dude's wife comes to me a few weeks ago with child porn and all these claims of this man is abusing all these people. I take it down to the police and they criminally come here and cite me and my husband. So it's just more shut up, shut up, shut up. You know, be quiet, black people. Here, we're going to torture your brother and lock him up for 40 years. Nobody cares about your daughter. In fact, when the police came down here, 2 weeks ago, they actually yelled in my husband's face, "I don't care about your daughter." Well, yeah, we've heard, we understand that. You don't care about anybody. Actually, you're stealing taxpayer dollars to do God knows what with when we have a humanitarian crisis in our streets. You know, they're also stealing taxpayer dollars to run all this fraudulent crap down at our courthouse. They're not following the rules because they don't have to.
Because nobody is watching the store.
We don't know the rules. We're not taught the rules. It wasn't until me and my husband couldn't get an attorney that we actually started to learn about our rights. Okay? And
these people
tried to use them.
These people still, even while knowing your rights, these people still do whatever they want. They just do whatever they want.
They
disregard
your
in
rights.
your house.
They disregard your rights because I'm telling you, as citizens, we're not there. Every single courtroom is empty. So the judges and attorneys, they are so comfortable sitting there alone, you know,
deciding your life for you.
Exactly.
Deciding whether or not you get your rights.
It's right.
Okay?
And there's nobody there. We're not even realizing how disenfranchised we are because we're not going into these courtrooms. You know, I put out on the activist website, I was just begging for a few people to show up to my brother's last hearing. Nobody came. Nobody came. You know, so people are not getting a grasp on how dire the situation is. It's the same thing with these rallies. We're 117 weeks in. Okay? It is supposed to be Women's History Month. Thank you. It's supposed to be Women's History Month, okay? And our senator is talking about trans women are women, and I'm down here speaking, doing something most women do not do. You don't see this happening, and guess what?
No acknowledgement.
No recognition.
No acknowledgement. They don't want to deal with any of this.
Am I not?
And they don't
My daughter's
have
not
to.
the right color. I'm not the right color. I'm a Jefferson graduate. Not smart enough. Not something enough. I don't know. I don't know anymore. But I don't see anybody willing to actually stand up for what's going on here. And it needs to be dealt with. It should be dealt with in our media. We are really doing ourselves a disservice in this country because the media makes it so, you know, they decide what we're thinking about. They decide what we're protesting about. You know, they decide what we're even hearing about.
They decide what we're paying attention to. Okay, they decide what our consciousness is focused on. And folks, we need to get a handle on that. We need to get a handle on what we are paying attention to. Because these people that are running us around, they are taking us to the cleaner.
And don't get it twisted. These streets are being flooded with fentanyl because they don't want you to stand up for your rights. They want you to go willingly, deaf, dumb, and blind into these camps where they're just going to kill more people because they don't value people. Nobody in these institutions values people. They pretend to value people. You know, and we're not really understanding that, again, because our courtrooms are empty. We don't talk to our judges. We don't talk to our attorneys. We let them lord over us. But once you start talking to these people, you realize they're just people. And quite frankly, they're out of their league. They don't know how to set up a society. So this one's just failing because we keep listening to them and listening to them.
Folks, it's time for us to stop doing that. Okay? So right now, they've got legislation coming in where they're going to sign in these their CBDCs. Okay? Folks, if they set up a digital currency that is controlled by a central banking system, we are done. We are through booking. There is no such thing as freedom. Okay? So, folks, it's It's time to stand up now. It's time to stand up now.
And here in Portland, there's something really special we can do because we can stand up peacefully, and all we need to be doing is asking what happened here, because I guarantee you this case goes all the way to the top, because we took it all the way to the top, and there are a lot of questions that need to be unpacked here just in this case alone, and in my brother's case. I mean, there's some serious abuse of power going on, not just here in Portland, but all over the nation. You know, like I just heard, they're going to give another $100 million to homelessness. Yeah, right. They'll give 99.9 million to themselves and leave you with $1. They're not going to clean this mess up. That's not their goal. People are not the value in our society. Money is. That's all that matters. That's all they're trying to save, and they don't want to tell you the truth. Okay?
They're coming to get us? Oh, there is a payoff. I'm sure there is.
Oh, there's always a payoff. You know, and I will tell you this. We're going to meet the law in court, and if a Portland jury wants to convict us for standing on a corner an hour a week down here and an hour a week in Multnomah Village, because we came down here to tell you the truth about your system, well, that's just sad. That's just sad. I mean, that to me, that would be the crucifixion 2.0 if that happens. Okay? If you want to, just take me and my husband off the corner because these people did this to us and we survived. Most people who are attacked by the state don't survive. Okay?
They depend on that. And every single thing that they did to us was meant to either drive us crazy and get us to either commit some kind of crime or to kill ourselves. That is every single thing that they did to us, and we can prove it.
I'm horrified at what I've seen actually from law enforcement, because the amount of pressure they've been putting on our family, the suggestion that we go commit a crime. They came down here, gave us these tickets, crime. They want us to commit a crime. You know, they sent a federal agent to our house about 5 or 6 years ago asking my husband, if he was going to commit a mass shooting. What is wrong with these people? They want the violence.
But they refuse to deal with anything that we are bringing to them lawfully.
And they don't care if the violence affects you. Like, if they had pushed us into violence and we were dedicated pacifists, did they care who we hurt? Did they care about the impact on the community?
No, they have not made the community safe. They wanted us to go commit a mass shooting. They wanted us to kill these people that hurt our daughter. They wanted us to go and blow up our community.
And they want you to all be smoking fentanyl and drugs and die. That's what they want, because they want everything to themselves. They think the whole place belongs to them. And, their behavior, if you just go and sit in the courtrooms, you'll start really understanding these judges, these attorneys, these people that are administering everything. They're way off their rocker.
They do whatever they want because there is nobody watching them.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be watching these people. We are supposed to be watching the store. We are supposed to be holding these people accountable, and it is not happening.
That's what it means to have rights, and I get it. I can even tell everybody I sympathize, because I wasn't taught about my rights in school. They don't teach you nothing at these schools. Come on. Everybody knows good God darn well you hardly learn anything at school. And it doesn't help you in life very much. Beyond the reading and writing, what are you really learning? Where's the practical application? Like I said, everybody will end up in a courthouse. Lots of people will end up in the criminal system. You should know what's going on. You spend 12 years in school. They keep you dumb on purpose. Every single American has been kept ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So they can just do whatever they want. We don't really know how to fight, but if we all knew how to fight, it'd be a lot different.
It would be a game changer, folks. We might actually be able to hold our system accountable, and we might actually be able to call ourselves truly free. We might actually be able to take care of people on this planet. Not just on this nation, but in this nation, but on the planet.
I mean, we could start here in America, because we say we have these rights. If people really knew how to use them, we'd have a different discourse happening. We don't have a discourse happening about inclusion and diversity, when you're just letting people change their gender? How about inclusion and diversity into the system? So I know what's going on. I feel stupid sometimes when I think about what Scott and Rudy and Judge McShane got done here. Because these people literally sat on the stand and said they were playing a naked game and they burned up our kid and they sat there laughing about it. Everybody laughed about it. We had to pay her abusers.
They made us pay these people for them doing this to her.
$8,000. We owed them court costs and attorney's fees, and we were told that we were terrible people for even seeking out an attorney. I wonder how many other disenfranchised people this has happened to. Because I've heard of people going to these filthy attorneys and then getting nothing done. These people don't even help you. They steal your money. Scott didn't steal our money. He took the case on contingency and then just lied to us the entire time. But he's still working. He got promotions for throwing my daughter under the bus because this is a really, really, really racist little city. I'm sorry, it's true. It's not all of you, but it's true. The way things are run, it's scary. So we really do need to learn how to fight back. All of us, black, white, Latino, I don't care. Your first line of defense is knowing something about the system you live in. So, like these kids right here, they're not going to get an education. They're just going to come out indoctrinated, not understanding anything. We all know how it is. You turn 18, you don't even know what's going on. They kick you out of school, and then suddenly you're just supposed to understand the world you're living in and understand how to navigate. And it's impossible. It's impossible. And then they blame the public, for not understanding when they've made no effort to help you understand.
Folks, and that's all government should be for. All government should be for is to help people get along in society and make sure that the peace is kept, but they're not doing any of that. Our government is owned by the corporate elite, okay? We don't have a democracy here. We have a plutocracy. That's what it is. We are owned, okay? We are owned. We were bought and paid for in 1776. Okay, so...
And we're acting like we're owned. We're all acting like we're owned because we all sit around going, my rights, my rights. Do you know anything about your rights? Go down to the courthouse and tell me if you know anything about what's going on in the courthouse.
We'll see if you have any rights.
You don't, and go to a judge and try to access your rights and find out if they actually exist, because as me and my husband have found, no. We filed several pro se cases, and on paper we won them. But in the court, we were just told to get out because the courts are now only for, obviously, the legal community and the rich. We've been locked out of the court, which I think is really irresponsible. I don't think anybody should ever be locked out of the court. I think we should encourage people to go to courts so we can encourage civil discourse so we can end the violence. If more people understood how to represent themselves and we utilize the courts more for civil discourse, then, people wouldn't have to go pick up a gun all the time to solve their problems. Because not everybody's going to choose to be a pacifist. I understand that. So,
it's, folks, violence.
You need to give people an outlet so they can choose another way to solve their problems. And right now, our government has made it very convenient for people to turn to violence. And that's a worldwide problem. Why are these courts so privatized? Why do you have to go to school for 12 years plus another 8, just to even begin to understand our legal system or to utilize our legal system? We all have the right via the 6th Amendment to represent ourselves. So this should be part of the education that our children are receiving. These children right here.
Right here, right in Pioneer Square.
We can start there. Children as soon as they can read. I think in the 6th grade, really. Because that is how we are going to all be able to include one another. That way you can defend yourself or file a complaint or respond to a complaint when you need to.
But that's not happening, folks.
And it's not happening right now. I want to see it happen. But, one of the things is me and my husband, we can't get a seat at the table. We cannot get a seat at the table. I don't know what they've told everybody. They're making up a lot of stories about us because they did this and they don't want to talk about it. And it shows proof positive themselves to cover this. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Because these people are all corrupt. Everybody that is running our system, they're all in on it. And they're all in on it against you. Yeah. Against us, the people.
And we're seeing people lose rights every single day. You know, I especially see that with women. We are really being buried here. I mean, I know it because I'm out here. And, I mean, I don't get any recognition for this. It's like I'm not even out here. I might as well be invisible. I've been fighting for my daughter for 16 years. Me and my husband have. Both of us are invisible. But it's funny to me because the feminist community has also locked me out, and I'm out here doing something that they say, you know, they think is important. I keep running into this with the activist community. We care about black wives. We care about women. We care about trans people. We care about this. We care about that. No, you care about arguing and fighting in the streets.
That's you care about money. That's what you care about. And that's what everybody cares about, right? It's all a money game, folks. We have to start questioning the foundation of our society. Mm-hmm. Why is our society based on money and not based on us? And our society should be based on the care of people.
Exactly. That's what we have to be teaching our kids if we want people to actually be cared for and you want them to be productive, you know, participants in society, which should be the goal. See, that's the thing, even with the homeless problem. They think they're going to throw money at it. You can't throw money at something when somebody is so destroyed they don't want to be a part of what you've created anymore. And I get why a lot of people are opting out. This place is a cesspool, and cleaning it up is going to be a lot of work. We have a lot of work to do, but I bet you anything, you know, if we gave people something to come back to and they knew they were working for something, you'd see a change in attitude.
That's right, folks.
If they knew they were helping build something better.
And all we got to do is change the goal, okay? For the majority of people, people just want to live. Okay, people just want to live their life. They want to be free. They want to be properly cared for. And that is absolutely possible. We have all the means to do it. We just don't have the will. We just don't have the will. But we can make the will right now. Okay? All money is an agreement. That's all it is. And we can make a new agreement right here, right now, to just care for people.
It should at least be on the table, because not caring for people and getting rid of people, it doesn't help, because where does the buck stop for you? How many do you want to get rid of? You know what I'm saying? Where does it end? Do you want to excuse yourself? See, I always tell people who tell me there's too many people on this planet that the first step they can do is, I guess, if you don't want to be here, then you don't want to be here. But this is what it is. There's whatever, 8 billion of us, whatever. We need to figure out how to be here together. And there's a lot of solutions that are being left off the table, you know, because they want people fighting. You know, one of the biggest issues that I see on social media today is the trans issue. And I don't understand why we can't have more spaces. You know what I'm saying? Why can't we have trans prisons, trans sports, trans bathrooms? Why? Because of money. You know, and so then people are fighting, you know, and we can't come up with any real solutions, because it always comes down to nobody's going to pay for that. Nobody wants to pay for that. Yada, yada, yada. So then people just end up, what are we doing? It's just back and forth fighting in the streets.
It's funny though, folks, because these people print money out of thin air, okay? All of our money is fiat currency. It's based on debt. They can print as much money as they want.
And they
do. And they do. Look, they came up with $90 billion for a war that the world does not need right now. Okay, we're suffering from a climate emergency.
That's what they say.
And these people have the audacity to start a war.
They say it's a climate emergency, but they got time for war, unnecessary surgeries, all kinds of stuff under the sun. I don't understand.
We have time for people to be laying in the streets and dying in the streets? I don't think so.
How do we have time for all that if we really are working to save the planet? See, this is where I can't take anybody in charge seriously anymore. And I don't appreciate how they constantly, you know, fuel these fights with the media. And I know they're fueling the fights because me and my husband can't even get in there and get a word in edgewise. We can't even change the topic to discuss this. No, they want everybody arguing in their little vacuums, and they don't really want to give you any solutions. There's no real solutions. You know what I'm saying? So, because they don't want So we have a lot to figure out, and that's why we keep getting out here, because at the end of the day, I just want to leave something better here in this world. And I'm telling you right now, what we have going on here is a hellhole.
It's garbage, folks.
I don't care all these people we put in charge. Their eye is so far off the ball, they might as well not even be there.
And if they're not going to be there, folks, then we need to actually make that official. We need people that actually care about people running the world, okay? We don't need people who's just focused on making money. That's all these people care about.
They print money, they throw money at stuff, they steal most of the money that they steal at the, throw at the problem. They never care about the individual. They don't even, like my brother, they don't even want to know his story. They don't care. They just want to lock him up for 40 years because he's related to me and my husband, which is so ridiculous. And so how many people in the prison system or going in and out of the prison system are just getting abused? You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting any real help. Why isn't the point of society helping people? Nobody really knows why they're here. So why are you trying to get rid of people and control people and hurt people? It's not, all to make a buck. That's what I don't like about the medical community either is, I've been talking about this. They rolled back the age of consent like a Walmart special. They're handing out all these complicated surgeries and pills and all this stuff to people who, really, really, really need, compassion and help. They don't need to be filling your bank account. So shame on these predatory doctors. Really, shame on them. Because to make somebody a medical patient for the rest of their life is about the most wrong thing you can do, unless they have to be. Like my daughter, she has brittle type 1 diabetes because of this burn, because she got no treatment. So I see what it's like for somebody to live, attached to a machine and needing help and all this crap. It's not fun. So why do that to somebody with a healthy body? Shame on the medical community. I'm tired of this.
And that's another thing, folks. Every single social organization that has been set up is not set up to serve people. It's set up to serve money. That's why we have the medical industrial complex, the
prison industrial
complex, the war machine. Folks, it's all to make money. And that needs to stop.
And it never
That needs to stop.
Our society is falling apart. We've had all these train derailments, all these problems going on where more and more the end result is people are not being taken care of, and more people are piling in the streets and suffering, and we're not trying to help them. So that's the main thing me and my husband are trying to get done. We want to raise some awareness, and it helps when people tell their stories. So I guarantee you, we're not down here to bother anybody. We're down here to tell you what we experienced as American citizens, from this system, this really poor, disorganized system that is actually causing the complete degradation of the entire country and the world, really, because America is so influential. And the people in this country don't make sense anymore. So, our leaders are not being taken. How can you really take them seriously on the world stage when they're behaving like this?
It's true, folks. So that's why my wife and I are committed to getting out here every single week.
And we're going to keep putting our voices out there. I'd like to see more people put their voices out here. This is a really great model for a protest. If you have something to say, keep it clean. Clean your stuff up. Clean your stuff up. Talk for a little bit. Go home. Relax. Whatever. But we are here to at least discuss these things, because these things are not being discussed. Our governor couldn't even really respond to this teacher that gave out this sexual fantasy assignment, because this stuff is going on all over the place in our schools, because we're not really dedicated to teaching kids the skills they need to actually survive in the society we've built. We need to acknowledge that.
So we're going to keep getting out here, folks. We are committed, okay? Our daughter is the main reason why we're out here, but when we're looking out into the world, we see what happened to her is how it's affecting everything on the planet. That's why we get out here and talk about more than what happened to our family, because we see how it's all connected. Okay, and none of it is good. None of it is good. Okay, and if we don't keep on getting out here, folks, you need to understand that it is absolutely your right as a global citizen to stand up for your care.
Absolutely, and that you don't just have to say, okay, you know, when somebody tells you, okay, you have to do this and you have to do this. This isn't their society. This is our society. That's why I am the value, you are the value, we are the value.
We are the value.
Not the people in the tall buildings with the attorneys are just the value, and you don't mean anything. So there's a lot we need to focus on here. I'm sorry that our public officials are busy stealing all your money and killing people, and they don't want to get this done. But me and my husband are out here to get the job done, and we're going to keep working at it, because all there is left to do now is to leave a better world for our children. I wouldn't feel good if I didn't get out here every week. And one of the best things that we are finding, you know, through this experience is the fact that we don't take donations has been really, really freeing. Most of the activist community, they're just beholden to who's giving them money. Me and my husband, we are committed to each other. We're committed to our family. We're committed to our kids, and we are committed to our community. We're not committed to some donation basket. We take care of ourselves on our own time and our own dime, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's important.
Folks, we're going to wrap it up here, but we want to leave you with something, okay? And this something that we leave every single time we're up here, okay? And it's important for you to understand this, because it's the only way that we're going to start making some positive changes in our world, okay? You need to understand that you are what is valuable, not money, okay? Not gold or silver, not cryptocurrency, not resources. You are what is valuable. That's right. That's what these people in these high-rises don't want you to know. Okay, so they can keep on running game on you. But as soon as you understand that you are what is valuable, you are what matters, and as soon as you start embracing that understanding, that's when we start turning this ship around.
That's right. So and that goes for everybody. You know, we're not speaking to just one group. We're speaking to every human being that is out here, okay? I don't care about the color of your skin or your religion or any of that.
None of that matters, folks.
What matters is that you are a
living being.
You are a living being.
You are a living being, and you exist here, right now. Okay, that is a free will, sovereign existence with built-in authority. Your authority is in you.
That's right.
Your authority, every single right that you have to live here free on this planet and be well taken care of.
That's
Not
right.
just be surviving, is built in to your very own existence. Okay? And that's what these people have tried to get you to believe is not what is actually going on.
They have spent so much time trying to take me and my husband's value. We really know a lot about this. So let's end with our mantra.
Folks, we're going to end with it. And it's very simple. Okay? I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. Say it to yourself.
That's right, Portland.
Look yourself in the mirror. Understand it. Embrace it. And stand up.
And Portland, I just want to say, I really want to try to have a more peaceful week this week. So let's try to do that. I don't know if we can, but I hate to hear that people are being stabbed and shot and harmed, because this planet really is in crisis and we need all hands on deck. So if you can find it in your heart and in yourself to just control yourself and not hurt anybody, that would be absolutely fabulous, okay? So we'll see everybody next week for week 118. Let's show the world how Portland can change the world, because we can do that, and I want people to be hopeful. All right, everybody, God bless. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Portland. Racing.
Oh, this city is a disaster. We're trying to work on it, though.